Hello and welcome to Phantom Forces Weapons Spotlight, a series where I give a more subdued and informative look on the weapons of Phantom Forces. In this episode, I'll be covering the Beowulf ECR. The Beowulf ECR is a battle rifle unlocked at rank 21. It deals 52 damage up to 80 studs and falls up to 30 damage by 150 studs. It fires at 780 RPM with a 1.1 times body multiplier and a 1.4 times head multiplier. The muzzle velocity is 1800 studs per second, and the penetration depth is 1.9 studs. Here is a shots to kill table. It has high recoil and it holds 10 rounds in the magazine with 100 rounds in reserve of .50 Beowulf rounds. It has a 2-second reload speed and a 3.1 second empty reload speed. The walk speed is 13 and aim speed is 14. The Beowulf ECR, or ECR for short, is a battle rifle that's battle rifle in technicalities only. Actually using the rifle in-game reveals a much different picture. To use it effectively, it's better to treat it as a DMR. It excels at medium range and sort of excels at close range. In close range, you have the ability to two-shot kill people to the torso and go full auto despite the high recoil. Predictably, it just melts people, but the big caveat is that you only have 10 rounds in the magazine, so if you go full auto, you'll most likely run out of ammo immediately, so missing or fighting multiple enemies at once in close range will result in your swift death. Medium range is where it really shines. Switching to semi-auto and playing like a DMR from mid-range is the best way to use the ECR. The recoil is way too high for full auto most of the time, plus you need to conserve ammo, and you do more than enough damage for semi-auto. It's pretty mediocre at long range, however. You 3-shot kill to the body, beyond 100 studs, which is fine on paper, but you have a ton of recoil and low mag size, and that makes it pretty hard to kill people. Not to mention the muzzle velocity is also surprisingly slow. Now, despite all I've said about the ECR, I would actually give this weapon a C tier, because you have to use it like a DMR most of the time, while actual DMRs perform way better. For example, look at the Mach 11, which you unlock at rank 3. It's better than the ECR in almost every aspect except for the fire rate. But when you use the ECR in full auto, it fires just about as fast when you account for recoil recovery. Really, the ECR is just a bad DMR that you can panic full auto at close range. That being said, the ECR does have a lot of conversions, which are all way better than the actual base weapon, so let's get into it. The .458 Socom conversion lowers your damage, but also lowers your recoil and gives you more mag size. It now deals 42.9 damage up to 40 studs and falls up to 24 damage by 150 studs. The fire rate and multipliers remain the same, but the muzzle velocity is increased to 2400 studs per second, and the penetration depth also remains the same. Here is a shots to kill table. It has around medium to high recoil, and it holds 20 rounds in the magazine with 80 rounds in reserve of .458 Socom rounds. The reload speed is increased to 2.6 seconds and 3.9 seconds respectively for empty reload speed. The walk speed is reduced to 12 and the aim speed is ever so slightly reduced to 13.72. Now, if you were looking for a battle rifle, then this is it. It still has quite a bit of recoil, even for battle rifle standards, but it's surprisingly controllable. It excels at close to medium range, but long range performance isn't really that good because of the 4-shot kill to the body and the recoil, so using it beyond 100 studs isn't advised, but it's totally doable. Really, it plays and feels like a typical battle rifle, so TLDR, you gotta be mindful of the mag size and the recoil. I'd give the .458 Socom a B tier because it's alright, but the walk speed is a little bit slow, and the M14 pretty much performs exactly the same but with more range and faster walk speed. The 5.56 NATO conversion turns the ECR into your average assault rifle. It now deals 33 damage up to 80 studs and falls off to 20 damage by 150 studs. The fire rate is slightly increased to 800 RPM, and the body multiplier is reduced to 1 times. The muzzle velocity is increased to 2000 studs per second, and the penetration depth is reduced to 1 stud. Here is the shots to kill table. It has low recoil and it holds 30 rounds in a magazine with 120 rounds in reserve of 5.56 NATO rounds. The reload speed remains the same, but the walk speed is increased to 14 and aim speed increased to 18. The 5.56 ECR performs just like any average assault rifle. You know, low recoil, good fire rate, okay damage and range. It excels at medium range as it's got good damage range and low recoil. Close range has a little bit to be desired because it's a 4-shot kill, but it does its job. Finally, long range doesn't really work because of the low damage. And actually, when I said that this is an average assault rifle, well, this conversion is super average. You know what this is? This is literally a slightly better AK-12. No, really, it has the same damage model and everything, but the gun is overall just ever so slightly better. You can use it on pretty much any map as well. This conversion is squarely in the middle of B tier. It's almost as average as it gets. It used to be a really good A tier rifle, but it got nerfed to the ground a while back. Oh well. The .410 bore conversion turns the ECR into a semi-automatic shotgun. It fires 5 pellets, each dealing 35 damage up to 50 studs and falls off to 11 damage by 150 studs. It fires at 275 RPM with a 1 times body multiplier and a 1.15 times head multiplier. The muzzle velocity is 1750 studs per second, and the penetration depth is just 0.3 studs. It has high recoil and it holds 15 rounds in the magazine with 60 rounds in reserve of .410 bore. The reload speed is 2.9 seconds and the empty reload speed is 3.8 seconds. It has a 13 walk speed and a 13 aim speed. I'll be honest, I don't really know what to say about this one. It's a shotgun conversion. You rush into close range and just blast people. It's a semi-automatic shotgun, so you don't have that much mobility, though this is quite a unique shotgun as it only fires 5 pellets, but the per pellet damage is pretty good. This overall gives it less room for error, but in exchange you have a 15 round mag, which is higher than most semi-auto shotguns. I advise only using this on smaller maps because it's hard to hit people at medium range when you only have 5 pellets, so don't be like me and use it on Desert Storm, okay? I would give the 410 bore ECR a B tier as well. It's an okay shotgun, but other semi-auto shotguns are just better as they have more pellets and that gives them more range and consistency. The 410 ECR also doesn't have the fire rate to let it spam like the AA-12 or use S-12 either, so it's in an awkward place. And that concludes this episode of Final Forces Weapon Spotlight. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel as it helps a lot. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.